To make a pleated paper dress, you can use all sorts of paper. We're using pages from a book, and we've chosen our image and created a pattern that fits the page. Place the pattern on top of it, making sure that what you're going to see, the most visible part of the paper dress, is actually the torso. So make sure it's well centered and then cut around the pattern. Then cut the sleeves. They can be small puffy ones or they can be long ones. It's a good idea to test the proportions as you're going along. It's easy to cut stuff off right at the very end, but try to be as accurate as possible on the way as well. Then sew the sleeves onto the torso. It's very liberating to sew through paper on a sewing machine, especially if you're used to sewing through more expensive fabrics. Paper has the great advantage that it's not that costly, and it's just very liberating. It frees you up. So that's the top bit, and then for the skirt, we've estimated the length of the skirt to be the width of the page of the book we are using. So we're just sewing two pieces together, making sure that we've got a long strip of paper to create the proper pleated skirt. And we start off by making a pleat in the middle, very straight, which will almost become the backbone of the skirt, and then you pleat out to one side, making the top pleats deeper than the bottom bits in order to get a sway in the skirt. And once you've pleated one side of the skirt, try to be as accurate as possible and doing the similar thing on the other side. This can take a bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's easy. Then test that the skirt fits the torso. And before you sew it together, it can be a good idea to put some masking tape on the back to keep the pleats in place. They have a tendency to run off, so if you're doing it whilst you're sewing, it can be more tricky. Then place the torso on top of the pleats and start sewing in a curved line the two pieces together. Adjust, perhaps making the waist a bit smaller, cut off the bottom bits. And once you've done that, you've got a paper dress. You can start decorating. If you want a pleated paper collar, take a strip of paper of 2.5 centimeters width and then pleat it in a semicircle and then sew it onto the collar part. You can do the same thing with the cuffs, or you can just cut out a flat paper collar and glue it on. You sew it on and adjust, and then there you've got a long sleeved version and a short sleeved version ready to wear, prête à papier. Voilà!